And now I'm going to leave the floor to Liza, and we'll turn off the lights to get a better view of the screen. And Liza's session will take about half hour, and maybe some room for questions if there's anything. And yeah, then coffee afterwards. So thank you very much, Liza, for joining us and giving a speech on, yeah, you can introduce it yourself. How can you be presently caring, despite all the suffering? Yeah, very important. So, thank you, Liza.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay. I got the question to do this little speech, and I choose this topic, and immediately I asked myself why. And no, you should not click now. Yeah, you can click now. Click. Okay, is there really anything I can say about bearing witness that isn't tragic or sad and depressing? And I have to say that I don't know really. But I should try to share with you some of my experience and some of my thoughts. And I hope I maybe can inspire you to try out some new things at your own videos. And also try to give you some energy to keep on fighting. At this moment, I have been organizing Skåne Pig Save for approximately a year. And Skåne Pig Save is present outside Scan slaughterhouse in Kristianstad. This whole area you see is Scan. It's a really big death factory. And it's placed in Kristianstad, that is a southern town in Sweden. In the beginning of 2017, I attended my first video with Skåne Pig Save, and it was with a group and with an organizer who spent a lot of effort to get Skåne Pig Save started as the first group, matter of fact, in December 2016. And without those incredible people, Skåne Pig Save maybe haven't existed even today. So we have to say thank you to them, of course. You can click. The first time I got really close and even could touch some of the pigs, I broke down, of course, and I thought that I never ever could bear witness again. But obviously, I got up, and from that moment, my goal in life is to stand up, or as in this case, sit down for the pigs, and I will do so until every slaughterhouse is shut down. Yeah. Now you can click. So, can we make the videos a bit easier and more friendly? I have under these years, together with other activists, of course, tried to work out some strategies around this. And as you all know, we have similar problems, I guess, to get the trucks to stop for us. And it's not an easy task to solve. Yeah. Okay. What I have done is try to start some progress in which I reach out to the drivers, and I have for the moment established contact with a few drivers, and it has taken me for about a year, so it's a slow process. So one thing we have to have is patience, a lot of it, and we have to stay friendly for a very, very, very long time, maybe, and just keep on going. So how can we make contact with the drivers? And this is a question I wrote, my own, but I cannot answer it, so I will talk about something else. Yeah, well, in my case, it was actually a driver that contacted me occurring to a live stream in which I filmed a driver who drove against red light, honking really loud and in rather high speed. As this specific car, there was a name on the passenger door, and I mentioned that name during the live stream. I said like something, oh, not so very good driving by this, we call him Eric, for instance. Some hours later, another driver contacted me at my private messenger and told me that this Eric person was on vacation and that therefore his car was driven by another person. And he also told me that this Eric would never drive in that kind of aggressive way. So I think what I did after that, I think is sure the reason to why I today have developed contact with several drivers. I took the live stream down. And I said thank you to the driver that contacted me, and I begged him to apologize to Eric for this misunderstanding. And from that moment, a positive and respectful dialogue started and continued ever since. Yeah. I have earned the driver's trust maybe in some kind of way, and by doing that I have therefore possibility to be educated in on things that I never could have seen otherwise. So even if it's really emotional for me personally, it's also a good experience. I have now a lot more knowledge about the structure inside the slaughterhouse and about which conditions the pigs are when they are inside the trucks and when they arrive to the slaughterhouse, and when they spend the night inside the slaughterhouse, things that I couldn't have known otherwise. So that's a good thing. So by starting a conversation in a respectful and friendly way that very first day, I have now, with a little help from the first driver, a lot of help I have to say, possibility to talk to more than him, and the drivers also contact me and ask me questions. And I think that the relation between us in Skåne Pig Save and the drivers is much better now than before, and that of course gives me a bit of hope and also motivation to carry on in the same direction. What about the non-response from the management at Skåne? Well, that is not so easy to answer. I try to reach out to Skåne once in a while, but they do not respond very often, like never. Can you please click? Thank you. Last summer, when I started to organize vigils once a week, which Skåne of course didn't appreciate, Skåne put up some kind of green net on the fence, and the net should prevent us from looking in at the unloading area. And this is a little bit funny, because they said to media and press that the net should protect the workers from being documented by us. But they didn't mention to media and press that the whole area where the workers are really exposed, they don't have any net. So they only put up net at that area where we maybe can see the pigs for like 30 meters behind the fence. And we in Skåne Pig Save, we never ever focus on the staff or the workers in our documentation. It's just the pigs, and that is very open in our live streams and at our Facebook page. So it's just because we cannot see the pigs, of course. But I took that reaction from Skåne as a positive response. And that gave me also some new, you can click, creative energy. And you can click. And I started to bring a ladder with me, and since then, this is really good, and since then I get even more and better photos. Yes. And also, and of course also sadder films. And this is something I never even before could have filmed if it wasn't for the ladder. So, click. I have to say thank you to Skåne because they put up this net and they made it much easier for us to document. Thank you very much. Click. So, how can we stay focused and motivated? This is how it looks at our videos. We stand at this public road here, and the trucks have to take a right turn just with the traffic lights, and that street into the slaughterhouse is a private road. And I know. This road here is Skåne's, Håkan Skåne on this road, and we have no permission to stand there. And even if we just like this case stand for like 2 minutes to take a picture, the guard is almost directly. We have to move from this road. So of course it's a big variation on how different save groups organize their vigils. We have to remember that each country has their own rules and laws, and the slaughterhouse surroundings, of course, are different, such as roads, traffic lights, gates, fences, and so on, is not identical. Therefore, it's a good idea, I think, to focus on your own group and set some realistic goals for your group. By doing that, you can stay focused and positive, and even if the progress takes just a small step forward, a step maybe even not visible for others, is still a step forward. If you compare your SAVE group with groups who have been organizing vigils many more years and have many more activists attending the vigils, you risk to lose your faith and you risk to be worn out. And of course, yes, we shall be inspired by other groups, but we shall be careful comparing our group with others, because we all have different preferences. So we don't have to put more loads on our shoulders than we can bear, otherwise we will go down, and that will of course not help any animals at all. And yeah. Can we have fun outside a slaughterhouse? Well, being outside a slaughterhouse is probably the most demanding thing we can do as animal activists. We who participate need to feel welcome and safe, and we must take care of each other under the vigil and have to be there for one another, have a shoulder to cry on. And it doesn't matter if we are 40 persons who participate or just a few. We have to remember that each one of those experience the situation in their own way. And, well, I'm sorry. As an organizer, I feel responsible for the participants, and I try to make them feel, as good as possible, and during the current circumstances, of course, and I have to say that they make me feel good also. We're trying to have a nice conversation that make us laugh and have fun, a short moment. I think that is very necessary to cope with the fact that we are at the place we are, the worst place on earth. And your laughter can never take away the suffering of others, but it can have a healing effect on your broken soul, and that gives you strength to carry on. So, how about the bypassers who disagree? Try to be open-minded when people confront you. Be friendly. Show interest in the person you meet, and let the person talk, and let the person feel welcome. You don't have to start immediately to try to veganize this person, because then he or her will never come back. Just try to be friendly, and the person probably will talk to you again next time he or she goes by. Click. Kom jag med lite. Okay, this is a nice person. I love this guy. At Skåne Pig Save, this man here comes by every now and then. At first, he and maybe also some activists was not so very friendly to each other, and both him and the activists seem to have none whatsoever understanding for each other. But under some time, and with a great deal of positive attitude, welcoming conversations did start to develop. And for a fact, it turns out that this man have worked at Skåne many years. He have a lot of knowledge and a lot of stories to tell, and I have learned a great deal of this man. And now we are like best buddies, and we talk about stuff that even concern the slaughterhouse. So if we act respectfully and friendly, we can gain both information and respect back from the people who confront us. If we have good conversations, you probably also get some energy from that, and some hope, and that will inspire you to keep on going and organizing more vigils. Yes. Can we do more than tradition? Oh, yeah, I should stand here. I'm sorry. Can we do more than traditional vigils? Well, now and then I go to the Skåne, the slaughterhouse, alone. The difference for me, being organizer and responsible at the vigil, and being alone at the slaughterhouse, is that I can focus 100% on the pigs when I am there alone. I don't have to think of anything else. And for me, it's almost like a moment of catching breath when I am there alone. I know it sounds crazy, but it feels like that. But of course, if you don't feel secure or comfortable by being outside the slaughterhouse alone, you should of course not do it. You should always do what's best for you and your group. And you can also have longer videos during a whole day with some kind of different themes. For instance, at Mother's Day or Animal Rights Day, Christmas, or whenever it suits. And then you can have, as in this occasion, we have vegan food and we to the activists, but we also made a lot extra to buy passes if they want to taste something, and that's a good thing, I think, to know to start a conversation about veganism, you know. And sometimes you can stay until the dark falls, and you can decorate the slaughterhouse area with candles and flowers, and maybe you can play some soft music, and it will look like a graveyard at the evening, and it's a bit sad but effectful. So, and during these past years, bearing witness at Skåne slaughterhouse, I have seen many pigs passing by, and many of them have been in the worst conditions. They have laying in their own urine and feces, and they have bodies bruised and hurt. And of course, it's painful and hard to see them, and in the same time, it's the biggest motivation to why we have to be there. Yeah. So, of course, it's for the pigs who are there. And it's for the pigs that I have held this short lecture today. And soon Kasper will click. And then he will show you some of the pigs that I have met. They who I never will forget, of course. And thank you for listening.
food, sometimes on Sundays with activists, but also bypassers. Have you actually managed to get bypassers to stop by and get a conversation offering them food?
Question one about the permit. You can, when you fill in this form, you can fill in like really many dates. So we take maybe 20, 30 dates, and it's the same, you pay the same sum of money. I think it's 250 something. And I have to pay what it is. And yes, it's happened that people have stopped, and this man I showed you, he stopped. It was a matter of fact a day when I just have some food to myself because I should be there whole day, and he stopped by and he tasted some, and you know, and he said, "Oh, it tastes like meat." Yes, of course. You know, so yeah. But it's not like they rush to the table, but it's possible, yes. Hi, Julia.
Do you have some accurate number of how many pigs that were slaughtered at that slaughterhouse?
Per day, it's 3,000, I think, yes. And 1,500 pigs are spending the night at the slaughterhouse, all nights, not the nights to Friday to Saturday and Saturday to Sunday, but from Sunday. That's why we have these vigils on Sundays, because there is 4 trucks arriving on Sundays. So, but I think it's 3,000 per day, yes. And in these big trucks, there are like something between 250, and legally they can drive up to 270 pigs, but yeah, sometimes a little bit more. And for the moment they will have a little bit less, because the pigs are bigger now than before, so now they will drive like 230, 250 maybe. So, yeah. Yes?
I have a question about the picture where you showed us there were pigs behind what looked like a steel fence. It was when you talked about you were having a dialogue with the drivers, and you have some like insider info.
Yeah.
You need to know about
that picture. I haven't. I don't know about all these pictures if I have taken them all, so that's why I just wrote activist at the end. But I think that particular picture was taken by other activist with a big. Really big zoom on his camera, and that picture is inside the stables, as they call it, where they unload the pigs and then they put them in the stable, but it's not like a stable, it's just a lot of cages, and it's really crowded, of course. And that was maybe can you click to this picture where there was the stable picture? No, it's
34?
Yeah, yes, that one. As you see, this it's a really zoomed in, because this is like maybe 30 meters from this fabulous net where we stand. So it's really zoomed. This is the cages. This is how the stable looks inside Skåne, and these things here is some kind of food. You know, the food comes out, they fill it, and they come out. And there are, you see these pipes in the roof here is water pipes, and they have water nipples, they call it, that they can drink, and they often drops and leaks and so the concrete floor is almost always wet, and then they put the pigs in here, And as you see, they are not always so friendly because the pigs comes from different places and they are very stressed. And further in here, they continue to put pigs from the back, and then they got further to the gas chamber, which is at the right side of the stable, longer in there. So this picture is taken out from the outside, but this is the stable. It's the first station after they have been unloaded.
Another question.
Yeah.
What questions do the drivers have when they
Well, they can say if we are going to be there, can they ask, and they can say last time when you were there was an activist that was running towards my car, and that makes me nervous because my car is very heavy. Can you please, I will stop, and can you please beg your activist to be a little bit more careful, but I will stop. So it's a dialogue between us. So yeah. Yes.
You showed pictures of pigs in quite bad conditions. Have you ever been contacted by either the authorities, Swedish authorities, like Liza, or other animal protection groups?
If I have been contacted, or if I have contact?
If you have been contacted.
No.
Has anyone ever showed?
But I send this. I do what I do is I send some pictures and some clips sometimes to. We have a political person who cares a lot of animal welfare and so on, and I sometimes send him pictures and links to films I have on the Facebook page, and I ask him if he thinks this is a good thing to treat animals like this. So I try to get him a little more more inside information about the pig business. Yes. No more questions? That's good. Okay, thank you very much.